Alright y'all, Jubeh here, back again. In today's J-Talk discussion, we are going to be watching this Jubilee video, or video from a channel called Jubilee on YouTube. And it is, can you be in love with multiple people? And before we get into that, that's a pretty tough subject for most people. I want to say, I feel like that's a you got to pay attention to the wording. Can you be in love with multiple people? Because I always say you can love multiple people, but personally, before we watch this, before we get into it, I want to say I do not think that you can be in love with multiple people at the same time. I think that in love makes at least for me, makes a big difference. So without further ado, let's get it popping. We got Ian behind the camera, shout out Rose Productions.
Because I don't want to share my partner at all.
And I have my polyamorous people on the left spotlight and my monogamous people on the right spotlight. Walk forward if you agree, stay there if you disagree. Humans are naturally polyamorous.
We would be the ones.
The way I think of myself as polyamorous is even more broad than sexuality, and it's just simply like, I can see the beauty in and adore and love qualities of an infinite number of people if I just recognize myself in another person.
Yeah, we don't just love one kid, we love multiple children. We don't just love one friend. Maybe we only just love one job. We're in LA, hell, we probably have 12 jobs amongst the three of us here.
How many people have gotten divorced?
I'm gonna pause it right there. Again, with the title, can you be in love with multiple people? I just want to clarify that, because what he's saying, which I can agree with, you can, find traits that you like in multiple people. Like, you might have similar music tastes, or you might like the same foods and things like that. But again, being in love is very different than loving multiple people. So I feel like they're really on topic right now.
Gotten divorced and remarried, and it's like, oh, I'm on my fourth marriage, how does that work out? It's like...
That's really, sorry to interrupt this, that is kind of like polyamory over time, actually.
Yeah, it's just a circle, non-ending, when you could have just been true to yourself and had those...
And with him saying polyamory over time, I would say that's a reach. Like, oh yeah, I would say that's a reach. I'm sitting there talking to Ian. Because with polyamory, it's like, you feel me, I could have my main joint, I could have my side joint, I could have my side joint for my side joints acting out of pocket. But that's not the same as I got a main joint, okay, my main joint's out of pocket, we break up, now I got another main joint, okay, she got out of pocket, now I got another main joint. That's not the same as having three joints at the same time I'm talking to, whereas I just had three joints that it didn't work out with. That's different. I feel like you're reaching.
Those multiple relationships, whether they had a piece of paper or not.
Oh, we got some contenders. They're jumping in the ring.
I understand that a lot of marriages fail, but at the same time, I feel like a lot of people don't put in the effort that they should. If people are willing to try and do the best that they can and try to be the best for this one person, it can definitely work. A lot of people in polyamory want to use the...
Now, I'm not gonna hold you. She is spitting facts. A lot of people don't really try in terms of their relationships, and if you did put in the necessary effort, because if we're being real, relationships are effort. If you put in the necessary effort with the right person, yeah, it could work. The only issue is that's a trick within itself, because finding that right person, boy, you needle in the haystack. Only the haystack is like 7 billion people. Like, you can get dangerous game you're playing. You might be messing with a slime, and they're gonna do some things to you. So, she's right. People don't put in effort, and then a lot of the times people put in effort with the wrong people, and then end up just getting f***ed up. So,
Marie want to use the divorce example as the reason for why they're polyamorous. And I understand that at the same time, you can't really know until you try it.
And a lot of people that are monogamous think that polyamory is just all sex.
I've been with the same guy for 6 years, and I've never felt like
I think she brought up a good point. it does not have to be all sex. You can have a relationship with somebody and not necessarily it be a sexual thing, but you two still feel like, you know, a real connection with each other. I do believe you can have that.
Or felt like I needed to be with someone else, and if I did, I would have just left him. As bad as that sounds, I just can't imagine like feeling equally for two people.
It doesn't have to be equal though.
It doesn't.
No.
Good point. It doesn't have to be equal. No, there's no like scale of, oh, I care about this person this much and this much that you can, you know, you feel me, really talk to somebody about. But yeah, you don't have to be equally in love with them at the same time. Because again, I'm trying to get back to the point of the video. Can you be in love with multiple people? Still, nobody's made any valid points to me so far to argue that case. So I'm still leaning towards no.
Like, I mean, for lack of better words, like rank your partners. Like,
Well, yeah, you have a primary partner. So in most, even in polyamorous relationships, I'm in an open relationship, not polyamorous, which isn't about just sex, but it isn't. I do have a primary partner who I live with and who I spend time with and I share bills with and I share a family with. And then I have other partners maybe who I share dinner and drinks with, or we have a similar career interest and someone who I just love making out with. So I think that there are, yes, there's compartmentalized ways. And there are people who do have two equal partners. I think that's probably the minority versus the majority.
Just like the monogamous relationships, nobody's marriage is the same. It's what you make it. It's the boundaries you make. It's your relationship. It's not nobody else's relationship.
I got a high five you on that one. Took to the church right there.
She did speak facts. In case you guys haven't noticed, there's no guideline on how to be with somebody or how to date somebody. So it really is what you make it. Never
Right there.
Twice.
I am in love.
I guess we could just
Why did you hesitate before coming in?
Because I had to think about how I'm answering that question. I was thinking about someone outside of
This is
myself.
obviously the real spiritual guy. You can tell by the
And
look.
it occurred to me that
Simple.
I can answer this question in a different way, and that's been a very big theme in my life the last few years, coming out of a divorce in a monogamous marriage, 20 years of monogamous
Yeah,
relationships.
if he really said, man,
And,
20 years down the drain,
and the theme of my
alright,
life
fuck this shit.
for myself right now
Anything.
is finding love with myself and being in love with
I love
myself.
me now.
I
can relate
feel
to it.
like throughout my relationships,
It's
I have
important to
found a
love
lot
yourself.
of love for myself. Like all of the girls that I have dated,
You know, I'm
my
positive with
girlfriend
monogamous.
now.
I feel like a lot of people in monogamous relationships forget to love themselves. I mean, they start to depend on their partner for the love. You feel me? Like, I'm seeing you every day, woo, like I'm trying to make sure you're good, and a lot of people get sucked into that, and like they're putting so much energy into their partner that when their partner eventually, because somebody, you know, 9 times out of 10 is going to break away. Well, I won't say 9 times out of 10, but a lot of times is going to start to be like, oh, well, I'm not having as much fun, or I'm not as invested in my partner. Let me look at how I can enjoy my life more. Who else can entertain me? Who else can, you know, bring back that feeling, that nostalgic feeling of comfort and excitement. So while that one partner is dumping everything into their partner's dumping everything into themselves. And yeah. So I feel like it's important to make sure you're still maintaining your composure, still maintaining, you know, your self-love at all times.
Currently, like, have all taught me so many things. I feel like that's one of the main things in a relationship. Like, you love someone so much, and then you learn from them, and they learn from you, and you guys grow together. And it's just like a beautiful thing. My name is Aleftina, but I go by Alia. And honestly, as a person, I don't think I would be able to give someone what they want and what they need in a relationship if I had more than one partner.
I've been married for 2 years, and but I've been with my wife for over 8 years, and she was my only girlfriend. So it's about as monogamous as it gets.
People be locking down so young and only experiencing, you know, one thing. Like, I don't know. I won't say, because I won't speak for everybody, because I know everybody's different. You know, somebody might really find that love at first sight, or, you know, find what they're comfortable with or what they're looking for in their first partner. But that's also an interesting thing. Like, for example, he's been with a shorty for like 8+ years, and that's the only shorty he's been with. That was his only girlfriend. I don't know if he was hitting Jones, you know, before he was with her, but that might be the only Joan he's ever experienced. You feel me? And I'm not to say that that's not the one, but maybe, you know, you have no sample size. Your experiment's very small.
Yeah, but very much still in love. Yeah, I love her more.
But
every
good for
day.
you. I'm happy for you.
In a weird way, my relationship it allowed me to love myself more. When I was with someone who totally accepted all parts of me, who was like, be that, it's beautiful, it's sexy, it allowed me to love myself more. And that's, I think, the beauty of open for me, is it's complete acceptance for me and my decisions. There is no, well, you can't do this, or, well, your urges are bad, or this is bad about you. It's be who you want to be, let's talk about it.
I actually read about polyamory, like.
Yo, I feel like real life is just like the Sims. Like, this is crazy. Because there's just so many ways you can argue and, you know, things like that. But I'm really just thinking, like, damn, like, in a way you could just look at that as somebody just, you know, taking advantage of a situation. They really just wanted to be able to do whatever they wanted with their life, be with whoever they wanted to be with, and somebody else out there was willing to say, you know what, yeah, you can be with me, I'm cool with that, go do whatever you want, whoever you want. Oh, that's crazy, like, some people marry people like that, like, you know. And then there's other people that would never even fathom that. Like, you really can't do whatever you want.
When I was in my early 20s, I remember reading about.
Oh, damn, we're gonna have to put, like, technical difficulties.
Eventually,
I actually read about polyamory like when I was in my early 20s. I remember reading about it, like, this sounds so, like, it was something about it was resonating with me. Like, I just didn't realize it was that much of an option. I didn't see much of a model in society. I thought, well, even if I want that, how would I find someone else who's into the same things I am? And in the last couple of years, I've been really just saying, like, I need to explore this. I need to find community. I'm not someone who says I don't believe in monogamy. As a matter of fact, having a chance to really explore both sides has given me an understanding, appreciation for both, and also understanding the limitations of both for myself.
There is a good reason why most people are monogamous.
I don't know, like, are you not jealous? Because I feel like that's the main reason why I wouldn't be able to do that, is 'cause I don't want to share my partner at all.
Yeah, I don't share. It's like, I am with you and you're with me. And, you know, we're together and we're growing, and if you don't want me anymore and you want to go explore other things, go and explore them, but on your own, you know.
I think that's crazy. Just because in every other area in our life, you have to control jealousy. Jealousy is not an attribute to be proud of. To say, I'm a jealous person, like, if you're at work, you can't be a jealous person and function well at the office. You can't function well in your family or with your friends as a jealous person. And so why in this one area of your life do you say, this is where I get to be the person that I can't be anywhere else? The idea of jealousy of I'm afraid because I've put so much, which is kind of like the slot machine approach. I've sat in this machine, I put in so many quarters, I want to, you know, reap the benefits. But if this is someone that you love, does that extend to that? If he said, this is someone that I think might be a better fit.
If my husband said, I found a different person that I want to be with and she's fulfilling a need that you don't or can't, then I'd be like, okay, go be happy with her. Like, It's not natural for me to be like, okay, let's the three of us work this out.
And to me, that jealousy is just rooted in the fact that you're completely intimate, you've made a commitment to each other, and this is the person that is basically like your second half. Having that jealousy for your significant other is beautiful in a way.
I think monogamy is a practical choice because it's safer sexually, one. Two, it's probably a lot simpler, and it's pre-packaged. I mean, it's like, here's a set of rules that has been created for you hundreds of years ago. Here's what love looks like, and if that feels comfortable for you, it's easy.
But monogamy isn't easy.
I disagree with her.
You know, monogamy is hard. Like,
I do disagree with her. I don't feel as if monogamy is something that's easy, because you do have to sacrifice a lot to be with a partner. You do have to, you know, give up a lot of yourself. And yeah, you know, if you do see someone else that you are interested in, having that power to reject those urges and you know, push people away and that, to focus on your relationship. That's not something that's just simple to do. Like, it's a simple instruction, hard to carry out at times. So I disagree.
Like, being with someone and being with them for 10, 15, 50 years is very hard. You have to find ways to love your partner for truly who they are, all the good and all the bad.
Especially because people are going to piss you off. Especially when you start living with somebody or start spending a lot of time with them, eventually you'll just clash because you'll have friction. Friction is a part of life. So to really be able to stay with somebody throughout, you know, friction, That's difficult.
You don't have someone else to turn to when you want something new. You have to find it in your relationship. You have to find a way to spice things up. You have to find a way of making conversation where you know everything about each other.
Why don't we have one friend? Why not just one friend? Why do you need multiple friends at all?
Nigga, that is not the same thing as a relationship. I feel like he's playing out of bounds right now. Like, I feel, you know how you be having arguments with somebody and they'll just bring up some you'll be thinking, what the f does that have to do with what we're talking about? I feel like this nigga just threw something in the conversation that had nothing to do with what we were talking about. But I'm gonna let you finish though. Go ahead.
I mean, most of us probably have 10 friends, 20 friends, 5,000 Facebook friends. Why? Why not just have one Facebook friend?
Because you don't build such a strong connection with a friend. You build a strong connection.
That's true. Like, nigga, what the f are you talking about? Like, I have some people that, you all have acquaintances and shit like that, but you feel me? Like, nah, if we're talking about relationships, like, you're definitely getting a little bit more involved with somebody. But then again, everybody has their own view of what they consider a relationship. So maybe for somebody else that is some shit, you would just be like, oh, well, you're the same thing as a friend. I have 10 friends. Well, why can't I have 5 bitches? Like, nigga, what? Come on. Come better than that.
And with a partner, because a partner gets to know everything and every single thing of you, because there's different levels of friendship. But like when you're in a relationship with someone, you explore so many more things and so many different facets of your day, because at some point you will move in together. And you'll see what everyone does like day to night, and you'll get to know everything about them. You don't really get that with one friend.
I do have like a best friend, right? But the reason he's my best friend is because he's different than every other friend I have. And if I have something really, really serious, really, really important, I'm going to him first.
But you still have other friends.
Sure.
And I equate that to what she was saying earlier about having a primary partner, for example.
Right.
You know, you could have a primary partner that you have intimacy, that you live with, you have sex with, and you may have, like, let's equate that to your best friend. And then there could be someone else that you hang out and you play baseball with, you do other activities with. You know, and I could have another person, we make music together and we do things, and yeah, maybe we have sex once in a while too. It's interesting that, I think from the traditional model, the fact that I would have any physical connection with this other person is what distinguishes it as an issue.
If my partner wanted me to, I would consider going to the other side.
Oh, hell yeah.
She wants out there confident shit. She said, okay. You had to think about it.
I was monogamous for a lot of my life, and that was for the reasons that felt authentic to me at the time. And I've been non-monogamous for some time now, which has been authentic for me for this time. And I think that for me the important thing is always keeping an open mind and realizing that life is constantly evolving.
I think one of the things I disliked about monogamy, or when I was in a monogamous relationship, is all of the you need to or you shoulds, or that we have a prearranged agreement of what loving each other means, and if you don't obey that, it's over. And I wanted to give my partner a true open experience. And so if I'm going to say to you, it can't be monogamous, well, how is it really open? Because there is a condition on there of like, well, this is the only way this is going to work. So it's always open to me means open for discussion.
Can I jump in on what you said about like loving and fully accepting someone? I just know that I as a person wouldn't be able to be in a polyamorous relationship.
Oh, son of a.
A few moments later.
I just know that I as a person wouldn't be able to be in a polyamorous relationship and keep myself happy. So if my partner were to suggest, I would say, I don't think I'm capable of doing that. And I would still love them, I would support them, I would want to be friends with them, I would want them to be as happy as they can be, even if that doesn't involve me in their life.
I think what the strength that non-monogamy has over monogamy is that we're saying, who are you? Who am I? Let's figure out something that makes sense for us. Versus, this is what I was told love is, let's try and do that thing.
I don't feel like I live that way because someone told me to. I just don't have the...
I agree with that. I don't feel as if... You know what? And I could be wrong. It could be a mass, brainwashed type of thing where it is common that whenever love is spoken of, you know, it's one person and another person. Like, you know, you could be taught that, but I do feel like a majority of the time when people do want monogamous relationships, they probably do feel like, you know, this is the way I want it to be rather than this is the way I was told it's supposed to be. Because there's a difference between what you want and what you feel is correct. And she's trying to play the card of, no, you only feel like that because you're told to feel like that. And she's responding, no, shorty, I feel like this because I feel like this is crazy.
The want
Yeah.
to add other people into our relationship.
If you don't have that desire, then
Yeah.
that's authentic to you.
Yeah.
And I think that so many people on this earth have the desire, and they think they don't have the option.
My name is Jasmine. I actually married my very first boyfriend. We just eloped and we got married about 2 years ago. We've been together ever since.
A good sex life is necessary for a good relationship.
Yes. Well, yes. Yes. If it's your soul partner, yeah.
If sex dies from the relationship and your love and lust for each other kind of dies, then you might be better off as friends and partners as friends.
Sex is so much more than just physical, that it makes a big impact in how I feel in my relationship. If I don't have sex, I'm gonna feel like disconnected, like there's something off in our relationship.
Ultimately, I mean, I talk about sex for a living. It's a big part of my life. It's a big part of my reset. If I'm not having sex with you, I'm doing it myself. Like, I really enjoy it. Orgasm has ridiculous amounts of health benefits and it just feels great. So I love the physicality of it. But I also think that every person should like really define what are the top 5 things you have to have in a relationship. Okay. And for a lot of people, sex doesn't hit that top 5. And if it doesn't, that's okay. You know, you can still make a relationship work without sex being a priority. But if you're someone like myself, you can't.
I'm in the same boat with you. Like, I've always been a very like sexually driven person, an explorative person, and in pretty much all the monogamous relationships I was in, I never found someone that matched my kink. So having a partner that's like really on the same page with me, as explorative and open as I am, is really like pretty much at like the top 1 or 2 things that I would say in a relationship.
Sex isn't everything in life. If the sexual tension is there, awesome. But what happens after the sexual tension is gone? Like, was that it? It was just sex?
The sexual tension.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna pause it there because you don't necessarily have to continue with the sexual tension in the same way to still have a good sex life with your partner. Like, it may not be the same. Damn, every time I see you, I want to rip your shit off, because that's probably what it's gonna be like in the beginning. But you can still spice things up, try new things, and have a good time. It doesn't have to be, you know, stale and boring.
It dies out. It can, but that's the whole point of like where people have to rekindle it, and they have to try new things, and they have to see what works to make the spark come up again, because after you spend so much time with someone and you know them so well, it can get lost. But it's a continuous effort of trying to make your sex life the best it can be.
Even in a non-monogamous relationship, you still have to do that.
Of course.
Like, I don't think it's healthy to run out and look for other things just because my primary relationship is like not working. Like, it still that relationship still needs work. Every relationship needs work.
I think like sex is important. I mean, I could just think of all the things that sometimes like sex can just cure in a relationship. And I don't know what it's like to, you know, have a terrible sex life, so I guess take this with a grain of salt. But, you know, I don't think about the amount of time you spend with your partner, right? Compare that to the amount of time you have sex with them. I think a lot more happens besides sex, and a relationship is, I mean, it's like how much fun you have, like the intimacy you share, conversations, everything, right?
You know, making sex not just about sex, like it's about connecting to someone, right? So I feel like it's a space, it's a really amazing space to explore that connection in the closest physical way you possibly can.
I feel like if sex was your first like priority, you wouldn't really be in relationships. You would be finding sexual partners that fit you, but you wouldn't really care about anything else. So I feel like sex plays a big role, but also we're puzzles. Like we have so many pieces and we have.
That's true, but again, the question is, can your relationship last without a good sex life? And I feel like maybe some people's can, but like I don't know. I just feel like you can maintain a good sex life. I don't know. I'm in the boat with this other nigga. Like, I don't know.
So many needs and so many things that we want to fulfill. But sex, I think, is pretty important for most people.
I've been attracted to other people while in a relationship.
Well, yeah, you just be fucking lying. Why you say yeah, tell me? It's not that serious.
Oh, well, good for
Oh,
you.
I can't wait to talk about this one. You better have something to say.
I feel like I found people pretty. Nothing to a point where I would even consider acting on it.
I don't think you can only be attracted to one person. I feel like that's really unrealistic.
Yeah,
I think it's a crazy thing to deny that because I think of
like,
every
what?
species' existence as survival and procreation. So to think that you can shut off that entire part of yourself, not to just, I think action is one thing because people have successfully done that,
Yeah.
but in terms of feeling or seeing someone else as attractive, that's crazy.
Well, apparently there is one person that could say that in this conversation. So,
Nah, come on, bro. You're a cat.
I can't wrap my head around.
I think it's totally possible. Like we can all be wired a little bit differently. Like we're all on a different point of the
don't try to
scale.
defend him.
And I think our
No.
life experience also
No,
shapes
stop
us to a
playing.
degree as to where on that scale we are.
Alright, come on.
tell us.
Oh, it's
Please tell me.
So I know I'm gonna sound crazy, and I know
'Cause
it's,
you
like,
are.
it's something that I always have disagreements with my friends, and I think it is a little bit.
There really is
of
always
what you
that
said,
one
being
guy.
wired
There
differently.
really is.
In the beginning, when I first started dating my wife, I was giddy, like in love that like there was just this giant bubble around our relationship. But then as we matured in our relationship, we got married. What I felt uncomfortable with is looking at other women. Like it actually made me feel uncomfortable. So the same way that I train myself to, like, if you want to call it suppress or whatever, other feelings and impulses I have, I do the same here. So whenever I see a girl, like, yeah, I'm gonna walk down the street and I'll turn my head or whatever, and there'll be a girl wearing almost nothing or whatever. What I've like built in is literally an instinct to just look away and not think any further. What's weird to me is like the conversation.
It's because if you look, you would be attracted. So you look away because you're like, oh, I don't want to be attracted. Where you're sitting here trying to say, no, I'm not even attracted. No, goofy. You say, you know what? I don't even look. I don't even pay him attention because I know I would be attracted. You sound dumb. Like, bro, come on, bro. Why are you capping?
I'll have with other people where they'll look at someone of the opposite sex, find them attractive.
The opposite sex is trying to be so
going and like mentally they're having sex with, like, all these weird things, and that's like really uncomfortable for me.
You're not saying like, oh, I was born only thinking this one person is attractive.
Right.
You're saying you train yourself to be that way.
Pretty much.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense to me.
No, because that's not what he said.
Without my partner.
That's not what he said. That's not what he said. He didn't train himself to do but look away. Because if I really wasn't, like, bro, I don't look at Ian and go, oh, he's attractive.
Pause. Pause what?
I didn't have to train myself to do that. I just look at him and that's how I feel. Like, come on, bro. This nigga didn't train himself. Bro, he just looks away. You feel me? Otherwise, it would be like, I would look at the shorty and be like, oh, she's not attractive. And then I would keep it moving. I wouldn't just be like, come on, bro. That's not what he said. People be blowing me in arguments when they just be arguing shit and not making sense and then agreeing with each other on something that don't make sense. Like, come on.
Really?
I didn't even hear the question.
Honestly, if I would have never met my partner, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
In the past year of dating my girlfriend, I have become
I feel
so
incomplete
different.
without my partner.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah.
Honestly, if I would have never met my partner, I wouldn't be the person I am today.
In the past year of dating my girlfriend, I have become so different and I've learned so many things and I have started taking care of myself so much more than I was a year before I met her. And I feel like that has so much to do with her and how she helped me navigate this.
I had a really unsafe home.
And again, that goes back to my my earlier topic of you gotta love yourself, because that's basically her saying, look, my partner gave me a reason to love myself, now I want to love myself for them, and that's a dangerous game. You gotta really love yourself for you. You should be taking care of yourself, whether you're with somebody or not with somebody, because you can't really depend on somebody to take care of you. People are always gonna want to take care of themselves, so you gotta
home life, and me and my husband got to know each other in the 6th grade. We were 12. I moved out when I was 18. Me and him, like, we had nothing. We somehow made our way over to LA. Like, I honestly don't think I'd be here, like, if it wasn't for him.
What are we disagreeing on again? Oh man, I was married for some time, so my whole journey the last 2.5 years has been to feel complete by myself. And there are times.
And I remember when I was a younger nigga, and I used to really struggle with relationships in my own head, I felt like. And I was asking one of my neighbors, they used to have a real cool dude. And I was like, how did you know how to work out with you and your wife? How did you know? And he was just like, well, the main thing is, like, I'm my most important person, and, she's her most important person, but we work very well together as a team. It's not like without her I can't live my life, but that's somebody I really want to grow in my life with, and, just all this shit. And I was just like, you know what, I can respect that. Like, I feel like he put that very well, whereas, it's a very dangerous thing to, put all your chips into one basket in terms of you love them more than yourself.
Times like I really do desire partnership, like I do desire primary partnership, but I really think it's so important to be okay just being as I am.
When the word's incomplete, I'm like, no, I don't connect with that. I connect with, I feel sad, I feel hurt, I would feel disadvantaged maybe even, but I'm still going to be me. And I totally understand that we're coming from different places and how we developed our relationship. My idea of a relationship is 1 + 1 = 3. One complete person plus one complete person equals a completely separate third. I was going to do this one, but a completely separate third relationship. And this would be incomplete, of course, if we left, but the ones would still stand still. And
that was worded very well, actually.
All right, guys. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Hey guys, my name's Dan. Thank you so much for watching Middle Ground. We love having these kinds of discussions, and we love to have you guys chime in on what you guys thought about this episode and what you would like us to do in future episodes. So if you like us, subscribe here. If you watch more stuff,
I think it was a nice episode. All in all, when it came to the question of the headline, can you be in love with multiple people? I'm still leaning on no. I don't think you can be in love with multiple people. I think you can have love for multiple people and, all that good shit. But in terms of being in love, that real burning feeling of, yeah, this is the person and, all that, no, I don't think you can share that with multiple people at the same time. You're definitely going to have one where it's, yeah, that's the one that's taking the cake for all the other loves. And, yeah. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you again whenever I do. Next Tuesday, I think. Or Monday. Next Monday.